What's going on, guys? So, I got a comment on one of my videos, which is the one that I did, and I put the video link in the description below on the article I did. Sorry, I did a video on an article a while back about by a woman who said that you should sleep with at least 25 men before settling down. And I got a comment on that the other day, and it was a comment by a woman, and I can tell that she's actually gone and looked at some of my other videos by the references that she made in this comment. Now, she wasn't attacking in any way. She was just making commentary, and I'd like to actually make this video and address this to this particular individual, and also to give you guys a bit of perspective on I guess the minority situations, of which there are some, and I have a friend who is in it myself. And I'm going to read this comment to you first and foremost. It says, "Dear Sydney, this article is clearly reprehensible and written by a stupid airhead. Please let me start by saying that I am female, in brackets, not feminist, good start, who enjoys listening to Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, and Lawrence Southern, as well as feeds interpreted of Q, Anon, and POTUS. For those of you guys who don't know, POTUS is the President of the United States. I know all my American brothers do know that, though. Smash that thumbs up if you're in here, guys." It says, "I'm a single mother of one son who has never received child support because my soulmate was killed by a drunk driver. The way I understand sex is it should be sacred, so I have never had sex with someone I was not in love with. A few years ago, I had to let go of a long-term friendship." Now, this is where it gets really interesting, guys, and I really want you to hear this lady out. Just humor me here, right? Just hear this through, and you'll see where I'm coming from. "A few years ago, I had to let go of a long-term friendship. Whenever she and I would go out to watch live bands, she would hook up. This disturbed me for several reasons, as she is married, has herpes, and hepatitis C. One night when a firefighter approached me, we got to talking, and I could not reciprocate because I found out he was married and looking for a one-night fling, which I never have done or will ever do. While I was watching the band, the two of them went across the street to a motel and returned in less than an hour. She claimed he was not that good. That was the proverbial straw that made me decide to end the friendship, because I felt so bad for her husband, and even though they were all consenting adults, I was concerned she might be sending these guys home to their wives and family with a permanent little gift. There is a personality test designed by Carl Jung, which has been used by colleges and career schools for decades, called the Myers-Briggs. And some of you guys might be familiar with the Myers-Briggs. I've done it myself personally as well. It's a good test. I tested as an INTP thinking female, which makes up about 1% of the female population. Well, that would make sense. I majored in music theory, which had about 5 females enrolled at the time, and even fewer passed theory. I could read sheet music and play Wagner by age 9. I eat right, work out, and take care of myself, but I'm not lesbian or butch. I have long auburn hair past my waist. Perhaps I'm still single because I think too much and guys seem to be more interested in easy, dumb, plastic types of women. I'm sick of this hatred and arguing. I only know that I miss my lover and the things we used to do together. Sydney, although I can only try to understand how you feel, it kind of hurts when you guys seem to hate all women, especially the single mother part." Stay with me, guys. Especially the single mother part. "Please don't lump all women up in the same category. It's clear you are unique, and so..." Sorry if that stream got disturbed there for a second, guys. I do apologize. I'm going to turn that ringtone down. "Please don't lump all women together in the same category. It's clear that you are unique, and so are some women. Thanks for taking time to read all this. Peace out." Now, she then did put one more comment, and what she said was, "Sydney, you might not read a comment that long, but it was intended as a meeting of the minds. Her article And when she says her article, she's referring to the article that was written by the woman who says you should sleep with at least 25 men before you settle down. Her article is angering. I am a good mom whose son trusts her. He did not have TV or computer until he was 12. I feel concerned about what is going on with women these days, and that even every young man like my son are repulsed by women's actions. So her young son is 12 and he's already repulsed by the actions of what's going on with most women in the Western world these days. Sounds like a future MGTOW to me. He is heterosexual, so frustrated because he hopes to meet a girl who is not jaded like these bitches you are reading about. Hopefully pure and never wants to get trapped. Definitely a future MGTOW. Someone faithful and resourceful to be his best friend and partner and not take advantage. I do hope he does not give up and become hateful and disrespectful. Other mothers have the same concerns about their sons. Try and stay cool. All right, so I just wanted to read that before I got on the road, because you guys know I love to drive and talk. It kind of like soothes my mind. But you know, reading that article, look, we know there's no such thing as unicorns. There's no such thing as a male unicorn. There's no such thing as a female unicorn. Everybody has their flaws. But there are some women that are more genuine than others. Just as there are some guys that are more genuine than others. And I wanted to acknowledge that these people are out there. I wanted to acknowledge that this woman actually really genuinely cares about her son. I want to acknowledge that this woman genuinely cares about her son being able to engage in relationships with, with females as a straight guy. She wants him to be able to have a relationship where he doesn't get fucked over, where he doesn't get destroyed, where he doesn't get absolutely savaged. She worries about the future of her son. And I appreciate, if you're watching this, to the person who wrote that comment that I've just addressed, if you're watching this, I genuinely hope that you continue to care about your son the way that you claim you do. And thank you for writing the comment to me. And to anyone who does know, and I know, again, as I say, in my view, this is the minority of single mothers. But to those of you who do know single mothers that are actually trying their best, single mothers who have become single not because they chose to be single, not because they went and got knocked up in a club, not because they got bored with their husband and divorced them, but women who have lost their husbands in war, women who have lost their husbands in car accident, women who have lost their car accidents by way of being murdered, women who have lost their husbands through cancer or other illnesses or terminal illnesses. For those ladies that have compassion and never wanted to leave their husbands and found their soulmate, right? And for women, they're different to men in the way that we think, right? So when a woman truly feels like she's met her soulmate and not just the next sucker, it can be a lot harder for her to break that bond. And I really feel for those who genuinely care about their husband, genuinely look after their husband, genuinely want the best for their kids, and genuinely want their kids to have a father around, that are thrown into single motherhood without any say in the matter. Or guys that just basically, because there are guys out there that they go off the rails. Something happens, they might have something happen to them in their personal life that's got nothing to do with the wife on occasions, and that might send them into an addiction spiral where they end up killing themselves, or something happens that is not through fault of the wife, and not through anything that the wife could have controlled or had a positive influence over. And as I said, this is the minority, but there are others that exist out there. I've got a friend of mine, she used to work with me, she was one of my staff members, very, very genuine. Her kid has Asperger's, and she has fought the schools that the teachers that were treating her son like crap. She fought and fought and fought because she knew it was best for her son. Right? She went to the Department of Education. She fought tooth and nail to get what she had to get for her son. And finally, she got what she needed. She got the funding. And the school got the facilities that her son needed. And her son is now absolutely flourishing. I've seen photos of him on social media. I've actually gone and visited them when I went to the country, and they are just doing so well. And a guy that she actually really, really connected with, that she told me all about and gushed about, and used to get all shy about before she had her 2 kids, to this other guy who just basically bailed on her. And look, I know that some women can lie about fathers bailing on them, but I know this particular guy, and I know that he genuinely did bail. Look, yeah, they argued, but he had some serious problems. And the way that he actually spoke to his children, I saw firsthand, and I can't respect a father that speaks to his kids that way, just as I can't respect a mother that speaks to her kids that way also. So I just wanted to make that clear. And Jimbo, so we've got Jimbo here. Says, my father died, but growing up was still hell since my mother kept pushing so much. I was driven away from the family home. I'm really sorry to hear that, Jimbo. And this is the thing, right? Like, I don't know what she was pushing for. But even the ladies that are in these situations, not by choice, ladies, I really feel for you, right? It's not a nice situation to be in, and the reality of the situation is that no matter what, those kids would have been better off with their father around. There's only so much a mother can replace a father, no matter how good your intention is. But I don't hold it against those who do their best and genuinely sacrifice for their kids, given the situations they're dealt, because it's not always a great situation. And it's a no-win situation when the father is killed, especially when it's a good father. Whether they're killed by illness, or whether they're killed by accident, or whether they're killed in cold blood. It's never a good situation for anybody. So and Live Free. I'm Live Free just put a comment in here. Says, sorry Sid, there are simply too few good women and too many bad ones. There is just too much risk. And Live Free, I'm going to agree with you on that. And I'm sure the mother who put the comment, the mother of this son who put the comment on my video, who inspired this video that I'm doing right now, I'm sure that mother also agrees, and she worries for her son because of that exact reason. So I just want to genuinely acknowledge that, because I think it's only fair and reasonable. And guys, I might be many things, but if I'm nothing else, I'm open to different points of view, and I am compassionate, and I do care about humans, and I do care about people that get dealt a shitty hand, right? I care about people that don't know any better. Right? I care, but the people that don't know any better, that have good intention, I care about them a little bit more. Right? Because people who are just narcissistic assholes and don't know any better, I don't really have a lot of time for them. I still want to educate them, but they're not my target market, because it's going to be so hard to help them, and by the time you've helped them, the amount of energy you have to expend to help them, I'd rather help the people that want to be helped. right? The people that want, care and compassion, the people that are prepared to look at things from both sides of the coin genuinely. So, by the way, it's really good to see you guys in the chat, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being genuinely decent about the comments in this video, because I would hope that if either of you were married, if any of you were married and you had a wife and that wife passed away and you were doing the best that you could for your kids, that people would grant you the same care and compassion if you were doing a good job with your children. And you were making sure that you don't give them a tablet or a phone to be their babysitter. And you were making sure that you actually cared about the future of your children and not just about your own ideological viewpoint. So thank you for that, guys. I appreciate it. Mr. Men says, good to see you, by the way, Mr. Men. Mr. Men has got a real feel-good story that he shared with me, so I'm not going to go into it now, but it's just lovely to know that I am helping people, and I feel very humbled. Mr. Men says society in general has lost its morals. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Mr. Men. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the lack of morality is coming from fatherless homes, and a lot of that is a result of the women's lib movement, which is a result of feminism. I do believe that feminist ideology and what it's pushed for has caused a lot of damage to society. I'm all for women having rights. Right? I'm not asking to subjugate women. I think it's only fair and reasonable that my fellow human beings have the same rights that I do, and vice versa. But they've actually surpassed that, and now they've got more rights than we do, and that's why MGTOW exists, because the balance of fairness is not in our favor anymore, gents. Which is why I was so appreciative of the fact that the person who inspired this video was very genuine and seemingly genuine, and was able to look at things from both sides of the coin. Society does need reevaluation, exactly right. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go now. I'm just gonna chill out for a bit while I'm driving. But I wanted to share that with you guys, and I wanted to get your thoughts. Once you've watched this video in full, I'd really love to get your thoughts on this particular issue. And if you, for example, knew someone that had been widowed, and she was a good mum, she wanted the best for her kids, she tried the best, she wasn't a narcissist, she cared about her son, she cares about the future, she acknowledges that there are very few good women left anymore due to the way that society has enabled and corrupted the most toxic elements of their behavior and their nature. Would you be encouraging this lady to go out and be open to the idea of finding someone genuine to have a partnership, perhaps a single father, for example? Or would you just be telling her, look, ride it out until your son's older and go from there? Love to get your thoughts, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna bounce. It's good to see you all. I will do another video very shortly, but I wanted to address this particular one and give it its due attention. And here we go. By the way, guys, before I go, Riff Magos, good to see you, and thank you for that little story of your own. He says, my mum was like that, lost her husband at 34, never remarried, and bent over backwards to make sure we never went without. Exactly. And Riff, I know that it's a mother that tries her absolute best is not the same as a father, but it's a damn sight better than a mother who doesn't give a shit, or who's out riding the cock carousel, or who pushed your dad out of her life. So while I'm sorry to hear that you didn't have your father with you growing up, it's also good to hear that your mother tried to do the best for you within the scope of her ability and her circumstances at the time. All right, guys, I'm gonna bounce. I'll be back shortly. Appreciate you all. Peace.